lighting the fuse on another brand new hour of the Steve Gruber Show. It's going to be explosive, boys and girls. Tell your friends, gather around. We've got stories to tell live from Studio G and fighting for you from the foxhole of freedom every single day. Here are three big things you need to know at this hour. Number one, it looks like the end is near for the Department of Education, which has been a complete and utter failure for half a century. Half the staff will be going home for good and soon. Number two, elections in Greenland, as the island has been a top of mind for Donald Trump. They went to the polls to select all 31 members of parliament, and guess what? Donald Trump wins. And number three, we were talking about a bit in the first hour, Doug Ford, the premier of Ontario, got all puffed up and started spewing threats and so forth towards Michigan and New York and the United States. We're going to hold it back to power, he said. Except nobody cares. You see, we get no power from Ontario to speak of, like less than 1%. We'll get it from somewhere else, Doug. Go back to the buffet and shut up. Honestly, nobody cares. Anyhow, he folded on his threats to cut off power to America because he was going to lose. Ukraine accepted a ceasefire deal just days after President Zelensky melted down in the Oval Office and ran off to Europe and said, they'll support me. You know they won't. The border is secure in a way like we have never seen. 8,300 people coming across the border in February, down from 300,000 and 400,000 the month before. As Donald Trump said, we didn't need new laws. We needed a new president. And it seems the wins just keep coming for President Trump. And despite bogus polls, the people like what he's doing. He has broad-based support. It comes from people like you. On inflation, Peter Navarro says there's a lot more to come, and there will be good news. Look, we understand there's been some choppiness with the markets. And with tariffs going into a place, the markets don't know what they don't know, and they don't like uncertainty. But here's what Navarro says.
We have what I call the 3D, the three-dimensional attack on inflation, which is consistent with the first term. In this case, it's drill, baby, drill. The difference between $80 barrel oil and $50 barrel oil is at least 1 point alone on the CPI. That alone is not just oil that we use in heating and putting in our cars. It spreads throughout the production aspects of the economy. So we're doing drill, baby, drill. We've got the deregulation now, which brings things down, and the DOGE to the extent that it gets rid of waste, fraud, and abuse. So we're going to see a tremendous deflationary positive effect that won't take us down.
There you have it. So you've got that happening. You've got the president yesterday at the Business Roundtable talking about all of this money that's flowing into America for investment, $1.7 trillion and counting. He'll break $2 trillion here shortly of new investment, including that Honda plant in Indiana, the Apple Academy in Detroit, and the list goes on. Investments everywhere. By the way, President Trump made an investment yesterday in a brand new Tesla. And he did this. Look, you've probably seen this as well. There have been these attacks on Tesla dealerships around the country. These foaming at the mouth radical leftists are busting the glass and screaming and carrying on, saying that Elon Musk is terrible and he's doing all these terrible things. What is Elon Musk doing? Figuring out where the money was spent. Elon Musk is evil because he's protecting the taxpayers' dollars? Give me a break. President Trump got a brand new Tesla. Said attacking Tesla dealerships is basically an act of domestic terrorism. Here he is.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, Mr. President, you talked about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists because...
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop it. We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. You know, I've stuck up for the NFL. I've stuck up for a lot of American companies and other companies, but American companies. I did a very big favor for the NFL. I do favors for all. When you heard an American company, especially a company like this, supplies so many jobs that others are unable to do, when you do that, those people are going to go through a big problem when we catch them. And we have we got a lot of cameras up. We already know who some of them are. We're going to catch them. And they're bad guys. They're the same guys that screw around with our schools and universities, the same garbage. And no, we're going to catch them. And let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to any company, we're going to catch you and you're going to go through hell.
We're going to catch him and you're going to go through hell. Well, we'll see how that plays out. But obviously, he's taking that seriously. And why would you attack a car dealership? Do you think that really affects Elon Musk? I mean, how dumb are these people? It's symbolism over substance all the time. Symbolism over substance always. And it's quite so. But look, Democrats they're agitated right now. Jasmine Crockett is their leader, right? That's who they've got out front. Jasmine Crockett all the time. She's on The View. She's on TV. She's on camera. She's on interview shows. It's Jasmine Crockett, the leader of the Democrats. Oh, they must be proud. Must be proud. And the problem, according to another member of Congress, Tim Burkett of Tennessee, he said the real problem with Democrats is that the gravy train is getting upset. That's why they're so angry. Here he is.
Congressman, why do you think Democrats are trying to shut down the government?
Because I think they're trying to inflict as much pain in a political type situation, and that's very pitiful. And also, they want to shut down Doge because it's getting very close to home, and they know it. They're getting calls from their big contributors saying, hey man, we're getting this federal money, and y'all getting ready to cut it off. We're not going to be able to feed the trough, the campaign trough.
Uh-oh, campaign money going away. Well, that's certainly frightening. Oh, by the way, speaking of this government shutdown, which, by the way, will be on the hands of the Democrats, the Republicans voted it out of the House yesterday, a continuing resolution, what they call a clean resolution, not a bunch of garbage attached to it, 98 pages, I think it was. Sent it over to the Senate. John Thune, the Republican majority leader in the Senate, said if they don't pass it, that's on Chuck Schumer. Here he is.
A similar continuing resolution passed the end of last year in the Senate with 85 votes. This one should be no different, honestly. But as you all know, it takes 60 votes in the Senate to pass an appropriations bill, so we're going to need some Democrats to vote for it. The Democrats have used the filibuster 3 times this year already, despite arguing for its elimination as recently as a few months ago. But 3 times this year, they've already filibustered bills in front of the Senate. I think the American people are going to be interested to see whether the Democrats are going to filibuster, and by filibustering, shut down the federal government.
Well, we're going to find out. Democrats have argued time and again against shutting down the government. We'll see if they're on board this time with their own narrative from years past. This part of the program brought to you by NeuroGuard Plus. Stop concussions before they happen. Dr. Michael Hutchinson has patented a mouth guard for athletes in all sports. Using this mouth guard prevents concussions almost completely. Those using this breakthrough technology only suffer concussions 0.26% of the time or less. It also increases your strength and your speed by up to 16%. Look, if you're in sports, 8 to 80 or any point in between, you can lift more weight, you can jump higher, you can run faster, and you can prevent concussions almost completely. And you don't have to believe me because Michigan State and Wayne State did tests on this, and they certified the NeuroGuard Plus is doing what it claims. Certified the results at NeuroGuard Plus. The promo code is 10%. Use the promo code Gruber. It'll save you 10%. NeuroGuardPlus.com. It's a Michigan company. Support our friends at NeuroGuardPlus.com. I'll be right back.